In this video, we're going to take a look at a number of different questions involving error intervals, the timestamps for which I've left down in the description. So let's get started on our first example. So for this first question, we have that the height of a building is measured at 14 meters, correct to the nearest meter, and we need to complete the error interval for the height of the building. So our error interval is just a range of potential values that the number could have been before it was rounded. So in our error interval, we're looking for a lower bound and an upper bound. So to make it easier to find this error interval, we can set it out on a number line. So the height of the building was 14 meters, so that's going to go in the middle. And if we look back at the question, it said it's been measured correct to the nearest meter. So we have a degree of accuracy for this question. It's to the nearest 1 meter. So all I'm going to do now is take that accuracy of 1 meter. I'm going to add and subtract that from the value we initially had. So I'm going to take 1 meter away from 14 to give me 13. And I'm also going to add 1 meter on, which would give me 15. So now to find the lower bound and the upper bound, we have to find the numbers that fall between these values. So for our lower bound, we want the number that falls between 13 and 14. Well, that would be 13.5. And similarly, to find the upper bound, we want the number that falls between 14 and 15. Well, that would be 14.5. So now we can write our interval. We're going to have our height in meters in the middle, and then we need our inequality signs. So when we're writing an error interval, we have to use these inequality signs, with our lower bound on the left-hand side and our upper bound on the right-hand side. So looking carefully at the inequality signs, we can see that our lower bound can be equal to 13.5. And that's correct. We know that 13.5 would indeed round up to 14. But for our interval, we can't actually include the upper bound because 14.5 rounded to the nearest whole number would actually go up to 15. So that's why our height in meters has to be less than 14.5. So when we're writing our error intervals, we just want to make sure that in the inequality signs, we are including our lower bound, but it has to be less than our upper bound. So now we're going to take a look at an example where we're rounding to decimal places. So for this question, we have a number x is rounded to 1 decimal place. The result is 23.6. We need to write down the error interval for x. So I'm going to set this question up in exactly the same way. I'm going to start with my number line, and I'm going to put the value I was given in the centre. So we have 23.6. So we can see from the question, our number has been rounded to 1 decimal place. So now what we need to do is look for the numbers that are 1 decimal place before our 23.6 and after. And that would simply be 23.5 and 23.7. So now to find our lower bound and our upper bound, we just want to find the values that fall between these ones here. And what can be useful when working with our decimal places to find out what should be in the middle is to actually write them to 1 more decimal place. So writing all of these numbers to 2 decimal places, I can just stick a 0 in the hundredths column. So now I'm looking at the value between 23.50 and 23.60. Well, that would be 23.55. And again, the same thing for 23.60 and 23.70. In between those two values, we're going to have 23.65. So we can now write our interval for x with our lower bound of 23.55 and our upper bound of 23.65. Okay, so let's take a look at a few more examples. So feel free to pause the video here and have a go at these, and we'll go through the solutions in just a few moments. So for this first question, we have a temperature is recorded as 37.8 degrees Celsius, correct to 1 decimal place. So to find the error interval, we're first going to draw our number line and place our 37.8 in the centre. We then want to look what numbers would come before and after this to 1 decimal place. So we'd have 37.7 and 37.9. So now to find our lower bound and upper bound, we're going to look between these values. So between 37.7 and 37.8, we would have 37.75. And then between 37.8 and 37.9, we would have 37.85. So now we can write our interval for degrees Celsius with our lower bound and upper bound. So for question B, we have a length is measured as 12.45 metres, correct to 2 decimal places. So to find the error interval this time, again we're going to draw our number line and place our 12.45 right in the middle. So we have 2 decimal places this time. So what would the numbers be either side of our 12.45 to 2 decimal places? Well, that would be 12.44 and 12.46. So now to find our upper and lower bound, we're going to go between these values. So between 12.44 and 12.45, we would have 12.445. And for our upper bound between 12.45 and 12.46, we would have 12.455. So our error interval in metres would look like this. Okay, for question C, we have a distance is recorded as 150 kilometres, accurate to the nearest 5 kilometres. So again, we're going to draw our number line. We're going to place our 150 in the centre. But this time we were given a degree of accuracy. We were told that it was rounded to 150 kilometres to the nearest 5 kilometres. So this time we need to go 5 kilometres either way of that 150. Well, that would give us 145 and 155. And then just like before, to find our lower bound and upper bound, we're going to go between these values. So if we go halfway between these values, we'd end up with a lower bound of 147.5 and an upper bound of 152.5. So we can then use these bounds to write our error interval for kilometres. Okay, and then finally for question D, we have a population size is approximated as 4.32 million, correct to 3 significant figures. Find the error interval for this population estimate. So we draw our number line, we place our 4.32 in the centre. So this time we were rounding to 3 significant figures. So we can see we've got our 3 significant figures there of 4.32. So the numbers to 3 significant figures either side of that 4.32 would be 4.31 and 4.33. So again, to find these upper and lower bounds, we're going to look in between these values. So we'd end up with a lower bound of 4.315 and an upper bound of 4.325. And then using these, we can write our error interval. So well done if you followed along with those questions. And that's it for this video. If you want to check out any other videos that are relevant to this one, then I've left some links for them down in the description, and I've also put a card in the top corner. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please feel free to leave a like and consider subscribing. If there are any topics at all that you'd like me to go through next, then please just let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to make some videos on those topics as soon as possible. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.